Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. How's everybody's evening going? And before I start off tonight's live, there is a inbred piece of shit 29-year-old killer that's currently behind bars, and the drug ring that he dealt for and decided to take two other lives within the troubled community, a Christina Dixon and a Matthew Johnson. Two informants that were killed by this inbred Dominic Washington. These two informants for a local drug task force. This dealer decided to kill these two and dispose of their bodies in Fort Wayne. But this inbred dealer is not going to like what's about to be broke down on his, as well as Christina and Matthew, their social media. What's showing back to other cases involving some people I've got home, 8 people I've got home alive, 4 kids, 4 adults, all within the troubled community. All that goes back to the same individuals that on Matthew, Christina, Dominic, all 3 of their social media networks. It's the same exact ring that's killed over 20 children. Why? It's simple. These children, like Liberty, German, her own family, dealing for what drug ring? The same exact drug ring that took these 2 children's lives. I'm going to sit and I'm going to be real with you guys. I knew what I was doing when I had to get what you're seeing right now on the screen right now, this protective order on an individual that was involved in Karina McClurkin's that went on to assist in Delphi, among other cases. I knew what I was doing as an FBI informant turned federal witness, allowing, once this went through the court, went on the docket, it became active. I became a living victim by the same individuals that were involved in Karina McClurkin's case that goes around the witness list of Galen Rose and the 4-4. Look towards the drugs, not away. And when you look towards them, That drug ring, you're going to see over 20 children, over 77 cases missing and murdered across Indiana. It goes back to the same inbred pieces of shit like Dominic. Washington, the same drug ring he dealt for, he chose to kill. Over 20 children, their lives were taken. Why? Because their own family, their families, as in father, mother, uncle, aunts, involvement in that drug ring is why 20 children, their lives are no longer with us. And for this state, like Indiana State Police, their drug task force, the local drug task force, like Delphi, Carroll County, making cases against ones like Gabriel Ellis, a child sexual predator with a long history, multiple cases of individuals that he supplied to, like Derek and his family, relying on him and others under Gabe, like Christy Lynn Martin. She was a local dealer out of Flora. She took the charges in place of Gabe. You should be really shocked here soon. Tina Riddell, all the lies, all the stories she's made up. When she first said her daughter, her friends were there cooking meth, the made up story that she's made to protect herself, her involvement in helping and assisting her daughter and her friends with muddy and bloody clothing, February 13th, not only gave me the location where they went to after the murders, the apartment, the details of that apartment, down to the peroxide and baking soda and boxes of, were already prepared, staged. I've kept my mouth shut for so fucking long right now. I did exactly up to 2018 when I was let go as an FBI informant. Only talked the FBI and the handler over me. The same Michael Curtis, the first federal agent to get involved in Delphi. It's a case he and other agencies allowed to make cases. They would use Derek German, Del Wood, Joshua Lake, among others. To get less time, give me your supplier, give me your dealers multiple times, like Gabriel Ellis. When, if you look up his manufacturing meth, he was picked up right there, 2008, right there. Prince William Road and 100 South, right there, right next to that bridge, where many of them have been known to make meth under that bridge, and there another train bridge. Many of them frequent right there in Cutler, another train bridge. They use these train bridges to manufacture and make their meth around. They chose these locations because they're out of the way, not a whole lot of traffic, even more so in Cutler. Out of the way. A lot less people go to that train bridge than they did Monon High. But I'm going to be real with you. For the Indiana State Police, Doug Carter, his drug task force, the state and locals like Carroll County, Howard County, drug task force, the cases they made against Gabriel Ellis in this drug ring, by having one individual getting busted along with his partner, like Blaine McClellan, getting busted with a female, the same exact time when his partner, Derek German, got busted in 2014. All four of those individuals, they were dealing and they were supplied by Gabriel Ellis in that same exact drug ring. Christina Dixon, she lost her life along with Matthew Johnson for the same exact reason why Karina, the Delphi 2, Flora 4, Javon Blackwell, his two sons, Kyra Thurston, David Kallenberger, Tanner Lawson. All these individuals lost their lives in and around that troubled community. The same troubled community, you have dealers, federally rated dealers, that are sitting friends with sitting mayors, Howard County commissioners, other elected officials in and around Kokomo, Delphi, Flora. Hell, Christy Lynn Martin, she was sitting friends with council members, individuals that were actually on the Florida Fire Department. You can still find that today. If you look up Christy Lynn Martin, Flora, her old account, you'll see just like Christina Dixon, Matthew Johnson, Dominic Washington, the killer. Each and every single one of them, you'll see individuals go back to Indianapolis, that area of operation there, Fort Wayne, another area of operation, and you've got individuals like individuals working at the Allen County Prosecutor's Office that go back in and around friends, that go back to the same exact drug ring. The RICO, the money laundering. You got elected officials, their campaigns being funded by dirty, bloody, and drug money. They get their elected positions. That ring has nothing to fear. But guess what? I knew exactly what I was doing. Paige Turley, when I had that protective order against you and your friends, other ones that were involved with Karina's, that went on to assist and went and killed Delphi, those two little girls. I knew damn well what I was doing. And what it made me up to today, a federal informant turned federal witness that turned federal victim by the same drug ring and the same sick pieces of inbred, no good pieces of shit that went to kill multiple of these children. Flora, those four, Javon Blackwell's two sons, murdered in front of him before they turned the gun on Javon out of Marion. I will go through each and every single case, and not only will you see the suspects back to what drug ring that took the life of these 20 children, but I will also show you what the FBI will not, and they don't want you to see. The hard intel, the suspects, the FBI even knew months before Delphi. Brad Holder, Jeff Brackett, other militia members that he trained with that day there at Ron Logan's property. I'll show you the who, what, when, where, why. The months-long investigation, every single text, every single email, every single recorded phone call on who, what, when, where, and why they chose to be investigating in Delphi. The Joint Terrorism Task Force and Michael Curtis, the agent over me. So we had an idiot go by. But hands down, I will show you what Doug Carter, his drug task force, what the local drug task force don't want you to see, don't want you to look towards. For them making their cases, it's what cost over 20 children their lives, and they know damn well. This same day, the girls were found murdered. They were like, oh, There's nothing to fear. There's no threat that remains to the general public. What they lied to you is if you're a part of that troubled community like Christina Dixon, Matthew Johnson, and you decide to help them make a case, turn witness, and help them make a case, it can cost you your life. Look what others, like Derek and his family, they chose to help the state and locals make cases. In response and retaliation, two little girls, among other children, lost their lives for them to make cases to the drug ring and these dealers. Over 20 children lost their lives. So, yeah, I will say this much. He didn't lie to you flat out. But the lie that there is no threat continuing was a flat out lie. What they did not want to tell you is if you are a part of that troubled community, you and your children, if you choose to help us make a case to get less time, you or your children could be next. They know damn well. The dealers, the suppliers, and these state and local drug task force, the cases they made over the years, back and forth. This person rolling on this person rolling back on this person. The same drug ring. Gabriel Ellis, that same cartel drug ring, that he has a partner right there, Blaine Nelson, admitting that he and Gabe were the ones dealing under Mike Jones, the 2018 cartel drug ring. It's the same drug ring that you had partners like Derek German, Blaine McClellan, 2014, when they got raided, exact same date. All four of them went behind bars. It's been back and forth. State and locals making drug task force cases left and right using these same individuals. But when it comes down to when these children, among others, within this troubled community, yeah, they made these cases. The retaliation for them making these cases is what's cost the Delphi 2 girls, among other children, their lives. But yet, they don't want to speak the truth. They don't want you to know the truth. For them making these cases, it's why multiple children, their lives are no longer here. They got their cases, they got their drugs, they got their money, they got their suppliers, their dealers to make these cases. But yet, when it comes down to the retaliation, like Christina, Matthew, other individuals, the cases they made over the years, the lives lost. Hell, it's pretty sad. You got an IMPD officer and an Indianapolis Metro PD as a whole, the Sheriff's Department and the Indianapolis Metro PD. They're one and the same now. You've got two big departments, Marion County wide, admitting that there's ties and connections back to the same criminal and drug network. That's showing, yes, there is ties and connections to multiple cases back to Karina, Delphi, the same drug ring involved in Christina Dixon, Matthew Johnson's murder now. You got individuals, serial killers, that are sitting friends with both sides of the girl's family, among others. You got other victims, their families, like Brandy Bradley. You got Michael Bradley Jr., 2018 raids. You got Frank Bradley. He didn't get busted in the raids, but he was dealing right along with his brother, the same drug ring. When I break down each and every single one of these cases, what you are going to see down to Deputy Jacob Pickett, Boone County, Deputy Carl Kuntz. You got Robert Pitts, Terre Haute Police Department, killed on duty. Greg Ferenczi. Each and every single one of these four badges, they're murderers are dealers, and they belong to what drug ring? So when I start breaking things down, clear as day, you're going to see the same criminal network goes into this cartel drug ring that goes back in and around over 77 cases now across Indiana. Richmond, it is a active, just like Fort Wayne, an active area of operation of this drug ring. You got individuals that go back to other missing murder cases or other missing cases that I got home. There's a sister-in-law that shows up all three of the same three names. Dominic Washington, the killer, the dealer that killed Christina Dixon, Matthew Johnson. All three of these individuals, you find their social media, their Facebook profiles, make sure before they delete it like they did Ashley Garce, I made sure to document every name that was showing. Go ahead and do that. Find all three of their social media, their Facebook profiles, document every single friend. And when I start breaking these cases down, there's over 35 local cases, including 4 badges. Every single one of their killers go back to what drug ring they dealt for. Most of the children's cases that I'll be bringing up are within Marion, Indiana. You've got Muncie, you've got Delphi, Flora, Logansport, Kokomo, the surrounding area. Most of those 20 missing and murdered children are in that general area. I knew damn well what I was doing. And you know, all it has to take is me taking this stand as a federal informant, federal witness, and federal living victim, no matter what side. There's 2 individuals taking the fall when there's other individuals that go in and around this drug ring. When you've got family members of like Liberty German, friends with over 6 people that are sitting behind bars for murdering to protect this drug ring or murdering for this drug ring, you've got over 6 murderers sitting behind bars, friends with the Germans, Anna Williams, both sides of the girl's family, left and right, but yet nothing to see here when you've got individuals like Garrett Kurtz admitting that, yes, he killed Nicole Bowen to protect that drug ring. The same drug ring that Derek Delwood, 2021, his dealing, went on business as usual. Family business got to go on. But then we're going to break down on some real touchy subjects on, do you realize appraisal companies and certain elected officials doing money laundering? Do you realize when you appraise these buildings one after another, this property, this real estate, you help inflate these money laundering scheme? You inflate these properties' values, no work done, but oh, we're going to come in and give you another what? Say you bought it for 50,000. Well, congratulations, now valued at 150,000. Congratulations, you didn't do anything to the property or the building, but here, congratulations, valued up another 100,000. So when you go to sell it, it's 150,000 out of $50,000 investment. Hell, you got a individuals like Howard County Commissioner Paul Wyman bought a place for 125K and ended up selling it for, I think it was close to 200,000. Did nothing to the property. Hell, he bought one property, the Wagner Clinic, off the well-known slumlord for $1,500. Then ended up making a hell of a nice profit, money laundering while doing so. For $1,500, he sold this property to the federal government for subsidized housing, for new apartments, for new gateway gardens, for over $150,000 per acre, and that's over 35 acres. for $1,500 purchase. A $1,500 investment now nets him over $150K per acre. Do the math. Millions. Then you got other individuals like Daniel Metz, well-known dealer, went down, started money laundering down Tennessee, not Tennessee, but Florida. Daniel Metz started getting in trouble. The Florida Attorney General going after him for the money laundering, the fake businesses. Well, he took that money and came back and one hell of another money laundering scheme. Now, nonprofit, he owns a rehab center. The same money, the same drugs, getting the people hooked is making him bank, along with his business partners like a sitting prosecutor, among others. But one thing I'm going to break down to you guys, each and every single case, from Flora to Delphi to Karina McClurkins, we're going to show you the social media network, each and every single dealer. When these raids happen, be it state, local, federal, we're going to show you each and every single one of these dealers. One after another, you're going to see suppliers like Gabriel Ellis, Kyle Stacy, Christy Lynn Martner. You're going to see these same individuals go around. Derek Sherman, among others, and his family. Hell, you got Harley Babcock and her family, like Trevor Tooley and the rest. As we speak right now, you'll find Harley Babcock right there on Christopher Mattis. Another one that helped Garrett Kurtz in disposing of Nicole Bowen's remains. Christopher Mathis. Look him up. You'll see Harley Babcock. The same Harley Babcock that's sitting right there, the aunt of Liberty German. You're going to see Trevor Tooley go back to individuals like Tyler Joe French, just like Harley Babcock. I'm going to bring up some names. I'm going to bring up some facts. I'm going to bring back the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth of why multiple kids were murdered. Look towards the drug ring. Don't look away. When you look towards, you're going to start finding individuals. What sitting prosecutors, sitting the head commissioner of a county, hell, even a sitting mayor, rank and file, local PD, Howard County, Carroll County, elected officials are elected into the positions they're at, but one after another, you're going to see dealer after dealer after dealer, either being family or very longtime close friends with these elected officials and their families, one after another. And go ahead, y'all, try to hide it. It's already been documented. There's over 14,000 screenshots. Everything's been documented. All the friends, all the ties, all the connections. The truth is going to be shown. And then back, the receipts that back me up. How about the FBI, Joint Terrorism Task Force, the handler, Michael Curtis, I had over me? Suspects that were sitting in my informant files as domestic terrorism, threats to human lives. One after another were allowed to continue to go on to be the threat of taking life is what they were there for. They were known to be, hey, this person, this criminal network that they run with, it's a threat to American lives. There's a possibility that they could go on to take lives. They did just that. The same Joint Terrorism Task Force down in Florida, Uvalde, the Pulse nightclub, the same FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force that did investigations on both of those suspects before they went on to murder kids and adults alike. The failures of that Joint Terrorism Task Force allowed multiple kids, multiple adults to lose their lives. Just like you're about to see So many, the state and local, up to federal, the suspects, the cases they've made, they know a hell of a lot more than what they're willing to show you, let alone let you see. They've deleted, they've got rid of what? The videos? Up, nothing to see here. The interviews? Oops, we don't know what happened to them. Well, guess what I still have? All the cell data, the texts, the emails, the who, what, when, where, and why, the months long investigation, days after Karina McClurkin's, the investigation that had my handler, Michael Curtis, the same Michael Curtis, the very first agent that got involved with Delphi and Casey allowed to happen. The FBI, Michael Curtis, lies, disregard, and negligence. There's suspects that he allowed to go on to kill multiple children and adults alike, just like his partners down in Florida. They sure as hell know how to act after the fact. Oops. I don't know how that happened, just like the two assassination attempts. Oops. We knew about these people. We don't know how the hell that happened. Over 77 cases so far, and it helps when I've got multiple agencies, other officers. I've got the conversations down to. Do you realize there's a third missing and murdered case at Carroll County open, tied to Delphi? Karina McClurkin. I've got every single message with Mullins, Hammond, up to when. And yes, they had a case open for Karina McClurkin involved right there in Carroll County. They were looking at her case being tied to the Delphi, the same criminal network that they made cases, state and local. But yet, the retaliation for said individuals that went witness for them, the retaliation of going said witness, making a case against said individuals, the suppliers, the dealers that they went after and made these cases, put these individuals behind bars, the retaliation they chose to do. They know every single dealer, every single individual they killed, they know exactly why, the who, what. They have our girls. They knew damn well from the very get-go. Multiple sides of both Delphi girls. Flora, each and every single one of the witness list on Galen Rose's lawsuit, which involved yet another friend of hers that got paid $20 for her role in a murder, sitting behind bars for murder, Jennifer Barnes. The same Jennifer Barnes goes left and right on Liberty German, Anna Williams. They all knew each other. You got individuals like Tina Riddell, Christy Lynn Martin's sister, spilling on everybody, including her own daughter, her boyfriend, Kiegan, Alice, Kieajan, the Kiegan that Keegan and his family's been trying to play off is his name. This is how you say Kiegan Alice. Look up Scott Alice, living right next to the Monon High Bridge. His long history, Scott Alice, Callis, aka 8-Ball. Look up Scott Alice, how close he lived to the bridge. He ended up moving right after. I'm about to show you some names, the ties, the connections, the real reason why multiple children, their lives are no longer here. It's a lot easier to be camera friendly. The talk shows, the monetary donations to keep coming in, with the truth being hidden. To what state and locals, up to even federal, chose to make drug arrest, bust. You use these individuals knowing damn well the possibility, like Derek German and his family, becoming witnesses, making your guys' cases state and local drug task force. How about Gabriel Ellis? If you look up Gabriel Ellis's 2008 manufacturing meth, right there, the Ag Resource Center, right there, the same Ag Resource Center where Toby Garth was a main manager of, the head manager. The same time frame when his daughter's friends were coming and stealing pneumonia. Look towards, not away. In doing so, what the hell? Why does Gabe Ellis, you can't find it in Carroll County? It's over in Miami County. It was a state drug task force raid. And guess who was the responding officer? Tony Liggett. Right at the very beginning of this video, one thing you've seen that I was showing, it's the same drug ring that the school resource officer, Richard Allen Ferguson, retired KPD officer, only reason he took the job was the lucrative pay. Is why he took the school resource officer job. You're seeing his own in writ, knowing about the two drug houses. And he himself, problems he's had with individuals at these two drug houses right there in Delphi. If you knew about that drug ring, the operation of that cartel drug ring being right there in Delphi, you don't think if the school resource officer knew about it, the state and locals that were making the drug task force casework cases, using these children's parents, uncles, aunts, family, friends, and you tell me them making these cases, putting these individuals away, taking their money, their drugs, and when the retaliation, like Liberty German, why do you think most of the hatred, the revenge, the retaliation, why do you think all of it went on Liberty? Look up the cases they've made drug task force wise, Indianapolis State Police and the locals, even federal. Look up these dealers. Then these 20 children's cases, there's over 35 names right there out of 77 cases are within the Marion, Muncie, Kokomo, Lafayette, Delphi, Cutler, that general location, Logansport, Peru. When I break these cases down, I'm going to show you everything. And I'm going to be real with you. I will show you why these children lost their lives, what drug ring, up to even the FBI knew intel on, and suspects that go back to this drug ring for years. Like Curtis Beck, he was a suspect I was pressured to start looking into. Him helping Alan Tinker, the same Alan Harold Tinker that decided that thought he was going to be Mr. Billy the Badass. Why he's on papers, knowing damn well, federally, who and what I am. That inbred fucking idiot decided to traffic while he was in prison still. Then his methed out fucking tweaker of a fucking inbred girlfriend turned wife or whatever Jasmine Bowen is. She got a meth charge right there in what was it? Petoskey or whatever the fuck Putnamville, that area. 2024. Possession of methamphetamine. They're both on papers, and they both thought they were going to be Billy Badass and come to my direct messages thinking you're going to tamper, intimidate, harass, saying you're going to see me here soon. That simple action. Well, guess what, little buddy? Say hello to your kids while you can see it, because guess what? You're going back in prison. And it ain't regular Putnamville or IDOC. You're going to federal, little boy. You're going to Terre Haute. So who gets slapped now being Mr. Billy the Badass and coming run your cocksucker like Madison Espinoza? That little inbred fucking cunt can keep my name out of her fucking mouth before I can I will fucking smack the fucking taste out of that little inbred cunt's mouth next time she wants to run her fucking mouth for her daddy, Ricardo Espinoza, aka Ricky Twisted Espinoza. The fucking inbred, no good, nothing. You're an inbred piece of shit just like the rest of them. You chose your money, your drugs, over 20 children's justice. And remember that when you get each and every single one of you got multiple children's cases on your own cases, remember prison. They don't fuck around like that like they do on the streets nowadays. Over 20 children's lives are lost. Why? Because of you and your drug ring. You chose money and meth, the sex and the drug trafficking. Over 20 children, their lives were lost. Why? Because of you, your drugs, your money, your ring. So that's what pisses me off more than anything. Now I'm coming at you full, mm, coming at you full tilt, you inbred little fucks. You're in your drug ring, or why 20 children lives are no longer with us. You chose to allow your dealers, your ones under you, to kill these children, and you thought it was best to stay silent. What you're about to cause the RICO issue and the good old boys club that it's taken you decades to get even a seat in Washington by a local Kokomo sitting senator. Whether there's congressional and federal, saying damn well, holy shit, Jamie Noel, other individuals in and around this drug ring, federally rated dealers, sitting friends with him and his family, a sitting senator, other elected officials, hell, a sitting mayor. Gabriel Ellis's mom, Bonnie Earlbeck, was sitting right there, good friends with multiple elected officials, including Greg Goodnight during the time of Delphi and Karina's murder by her son, his buddies that he was running around with. That inbred, no good for nothing Gabriel Ellis and his drug ring, these inbreds, that's all they are. They are inbred, good for nothing, nothings, nobodies. And they talk a mad game. Well, guess what? I made a phone call today. Feds are getting involved with Dominic's little issue. He's catching more charges, along with his dealers and his suppliers, for the killing of these two. Payback, Hell's Pits opening. And guess what? When Dominic Washington faces federal charges and his suppliers, the dealers that were supplying him and his friends catch charges, other dealers, over these two murder, just wait till each and every single one of them goes back to the same drug ring. Why 20 children, their lives are no longer here. 4 badges. Each and every single case, I will break down who, what, when, where, and why to look towards that drug ring and not away. You look towards that drug ring, the operations of that drug ring, the suppliers and the dealers that were going and killing these children and adults alike, nothing's going to be hidden. And unlike the FBI and locals getting ready to interviews, videos, I've still got every single recorded call with that agent. Other agencies like Carroll County, Howard County, I documented everything, every phone call, including the same phone call where you had Tony Liggett as a deputy with Anna Williams laughing, egging him on. Don't forget to attack him, threaten him with this. Don't bring up this or don't ask this about this drug ring or anything or else. She was not upset. She was not crying. She was not bawling. She was laughing her ass off, egging him on that full recorded conversation when he threatened me. Stop asking about this drug ring and stop looking towards this drug ring or else. Or else what, little boy? I recorded that conversation where Anna Williams, not upset, not, oh, out of her mind fucking upset. She was laughing, sitting beside you, laughing while you were threatening me, little boy. It was recorded of how low life, piece of shit, inbred you are, Tony. Your threats to a federal informant turned witness turned living victim. It's a laughing matter, Tony. But you remember, the same Tony Liggett that had a no contact order, a protective order for sexual harassment, a no trespassing order that Richard Allen Ferguson, the school resource officer, had to serve him himself for his actions that he chose to do on a female Carroll County, not Carroll County, but Carroll School District employee. Richard Allen Ferguson had to serve a now sitting sheriff no trespassing orders over his actions, and it took a female employee getting a court ordered up to no trespassing. You can't come to the one that you sexually were harassing, stalking. You couldn't come to her place of work now, could you, Tony?